What's good, YouTube? Today I'm going to be talking about my three stocks that you should be looking at if you're a long-term investor or you want to do some long-term investing. These are three stocks that I personally believe are going to multiply like crazy, especially long-term. Doesn't mean that they're not going to go up by a lot in the coming years or months, but these are going to be specifically tuned to 5-10 years, have big growth potential in the future long term. So number one, I'm going to be talking about Affirm. So I actually made a video on this a couple of days ago talking about buy now pay later, and it was kind of a cautionary video about it. But one thing I said at the end of that video was that it's an inevitability. Like, I didn't want you guys to fall into buy now pay later, but this thing is going to keep going up because that's how it is with debt. People are going to fall into debt and people are not going to have the discipline to avoid it. So this stuff is going to keep going up. And Affirm is the leader in buy now pay later, and their stock is pretty good. So if we look at it on the last one day, it's currently at 77.56. If we look at all, it started in 2021 at 117, and then it went down during that real strong bear market when everything was down in 2022. But ever since then, it's been kind of stable. But for me, I think this is going to be one of the biggest growth potential stocks going forward, because like I said, buy now pay later, it's going to keep going up. Affirm is the leader. Obviously you're gonna have other options with Klarna, Afterpay, and stuff like that. You have your choice with those in this market, but buy now pay later is definitely something you should be looking at when it comes to growth potential, because like I said, I mean, this stuff just started especially around like COVID, but this stuff long term, 10, 20, like decades into the future, this is just only, unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it's only gonna go even more. I saw the numbers recently. I think it was like 100 billion for buy now pay later debts. These companies are going to keep making a ton of money. They're going to be making a killing. So my first stock is going to be Affirm Holdings. Number two, I'm going to be going to something you probably heard of recently if you've been in, looking at investment news, is Palantir Technology. So Palantir was obviously in the news. I think it was like a couple weeks ago now. They were a couple weeks ago back. They were in the news for their deal with the government and their whole thing about the data and surveillance and all that. I definitely put some money into it. So they obviously, if we look at the numbers, they had a small little spike here. This is when I would assume when that news came out. This was at the beginning of the month, which sounds about right. They've been going up since the start of the year. I believe one of the founders was part of the PayPal Mafia, I believe. Anything when it comes to the government, you're doing deals with the government and stuff like that, and the surveillance, obviously they're doing some stuff with AI as well. This is something I think, again, decades into the future, this is going to be a big one to look at. Again, I already put a lot of money in a Palantir, and I think this is going to have big growth potential. It's already growing recently, as you can see, but I think this one's going to have a big growth potential for the coming years. Again, this is focused on long-term investing, and I think this is going to be huge for the coming decades. They just went public 2020. They were flatline pretty much for a while, But this one, I think Palantir, obviously, again, it got a lot of hype when they started making some deals with the U.S. government. But I think Palantir has a lot of growth potential. And the last stock is the one I'm probably most bullish on, is SoFi. So SoFi, I've been talking about SoFi for years now, since probably before 2022. I think SoFi is a stock that I can easily see it going to like $200 in the next like decade or two, kind of. Maybe, obviously, again, maybe less. Like, I would say better to say maybe like 7 to 15 years. I can see SoFi going to a couple $100, if not more, like $400. I can see SoFi going to the moon, honestly. I remember I was investing in it. I've been invested in it since 2021. And then obviously it went down a bunch. And I remember this was like an easy stock. I knew it was going to go back up. I remember back when it was, $5 and stuff. That was around here. And it's only gone back up. So if you would have invested back then, you would have 5x your money. And listen, everybody, this is the one I'm probably the most certain on. This one is going to go to the moon. Invest in SoFi. It is cheap right now. It's $25. This is going to be a big company for years to come. One of the leaders in fintech. This is to me, can't miss. Hey, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm definitely not a fortune teller. But to me, this is the one. This is definitely gonna go to the moon. And in terms of long-term investing, SoFi is the one. This is like a rookie that is scoring 50 a game in the NBA. Like, what this is gonna be in 5, 10, 15 years going forward. This is gonna be one of those stocks. So that's my number one. I really have SoFi at the number one. I do believe in Palantir, obviously, as well, for a lot of reasons. I think Palantir has a lot of good components to it that make it promising. And then Affirm is something that their industry with buy now, pay later is just, it's an inevitability, unfortunately. Not the most, not really one of those ethical stocks and businesses so much, but it is something that has a certain level of inevitability, and I think Affirm is going to be at the helm of that, leading the pack. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. These are my top 3 stocks for long-term investing. I will see you guys in the next one.